The important areas which we are going to cover in this topic are classification of numbers, the concept of rational and irrational numbers, and the third one is concept of factors. These are three areas which we are going to cover: the classification, the concept of rational and irrational numbers, the concept of factors. Now let's come to the first area, and that is the classification of numbers. Guys, you can ask a question whenever you want. Classification of numbers. When broadly classified, there are two types of numbers. The one is real numbers and the other one is imaginary numbers. Any number which is of the form a plus ib, any number which is of the form a plus ib is known as an imaginary number. I here stands for iota. I is nothing but root of -1. And whenever a number is of the form a plus I, for example 3 plus 4i or 6 plus 8i, so that kind of number is known as an imaginary number. Every number which is not imaginary or every number which does not have this root of -1 comes under real numbers. So the first thing which comes here is natural numbers. What are natural numbers? The numbers starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. All these numbers are natural numbers. The second category of numbers is the whole numbers. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. All these numbers are known as whole numbers. Let's come to the third category of the numbers. The third category of the numbers is integers. Examples: -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. All these numbers are integers. It means that integers is nothing but the negative whole numbers, the positive whole numbers and the 0. So this complete set is known as integers. So there is natural numbers, there is whole numbers, there is integers. The next category of the number is even numbers. Now what is even numbers, guys? Obviously सबको पता होगा what is even numbers. Numbers that are divisible by 2. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and so on. These numbers are even numbers. Numbers which are divisible by 2. Now the important concept about even number is an even number plus an even number gives me an even number. An even number into an even number gives me an even number again. So you are supposed to remember this. An even number is a number which is divisible by 2. An even number plus an even number gives me an even number. An even number multiplied by an even number again gives me an even number. So there is a type of number. The next category of the numbers, I am going to rub this, so kindly note down it. Is it done? Good. So after this even numbers, let's move on to the another category of the numbers, and that is odd numbers. Numbers which are not divisible by 2. Guys, numbers which are not divisible by 2. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and so on. All these numbers are nothing but odd numbers. A very important concept about odd numbers is an odd number plus an odd number gives me an even number. An odd number into an odd number gives me an odd number. An odd number plus an even number gives me another odd number. So these are certain things which we will require at the time of problem solving. The next type of numbers are prime numbers. What are prime numbers? Here, guys, what are prime numbers? Okay. A number which is divisible by 1 and the number itself is known as a prime number. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on. All these numbers are divisible by either 1 or the number itself. So all these numbers are nothing but prime numbers. Now let's come to the, before coming to the composite numbers, let's spend a couple of minutes on prime numbers, understanding more accurately what exactly prime number is. So, now let's look at this number line. This is a number line and the smallest prime number we have is 2. Then we have 3. Now let's mark up the multiples of 6 on this number line. So the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42 and so on. Just before 6 we have a number 5 which is prime. After 6 we have another number 7 which is again prime. Then we have 11 which is prime, we have a 13 which is again prime. We have a 17, we have 19, 23, 25 is not prime, 29, 31, 35 is not prime but then 37 is prime, 41 is prime, 43 is prime. So guys, there is a very important concept out here. Every prime number, you can note down this point, every prime number greater than 3 is of the form either 6k plus 1 or 6k minus 1, but the vice versa is not true. It means that every prime number which is greater than 3, every prime number which is greater than 3 is either a step ahead of a multiple of 6 or a step before multiple of 6. But then it is not necessary that every number which is of the form 6k plus 1 or 6k minus 1 is definitely going to be prime. So remember this, I am repeating it once again. Every prime number greater than 3 will always be of the form of 6k plus 1 or 6k minus 1. But then every number of the form 6k plus 1 or 6k minus 1 is not going to be prime. Okay, so this is a concept which is related to prime numbers, right? Now is it a magic? No, it's not a magic. Look, whenever you divide a number by 6, whenever you divide a number, kindly focus on this. Whenever you divide a number by 6, the possible remainders are either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So a number is either of the form 6k or 6k plus 1 or 6k plus 2 or 6k plus 3, 6k plus 4 or 6k plus 5. Now any number which is of the form 6k, obviously it is not going to be a prime number, it's already divisible by 6. So this option is ruled out. 6k plus 1 might be a prime number. 6k plus 2, we can see that it's an even number. 6k plus 2 is an even number, so it is divisible by 2. So it can never be prime. 6k plus 3 is a number which is divisible by 3. So it cannot be prime. 6k plus 4 is another number which is an even number, so it cannot be prime. So the numbers which can be prime is nothing but 6k plus 1 and 6k plus 5. A very strong point on the same lines can be, if that is the case, why do we express any prime number of the form 6k plus 1 or 6k plus 5? No, it is not necessary. You can also say that any prime number which is greater than 3